Not all postseason eliminations are created equal, and no team should feel as rotten about how their NBA season ended as the Philadelphia 76ers, who just squandered the franchise's best chance to win a title in the Joel Embiid era. What's worse is that Embiid is a big part of the problem. For a brief moment in time, it finally looked like everything was coming up Philly. Perennial runner-up, Joel Embiid finally broke through to win the MVP award. James Harden helped the Sixers steal a couple games in their second-round series in Boston. And the team was coming home with a chance to end the NBA's fourth longest conference finals drought. The Sixers even took a narrow lead into the final 5 minutes of Game 6, knowing that with just one more win, Philly would own home court advantage through the rest of the playoffs. For a franchise that hasn't touched the Larry O'Brien Trophy since 1983, or even reached the East Finals since 2001, this felt like the defining moment of the Embiid era, doubly so because Harden contests free agency this summer. In the end, Embiid's Sixers did what they always do: come up short in embarrassing fashion. They scored a measly 13 fourth-quarter points in dropping Game 6, then got blown out by 24 points in Game 7, with Embiid and Harden combining for only 24 points while Jason Tatum erupted for 51. No wonder the team's social media accounts went nearly 20 hours between posts, going dark between halftime of Game 7 on Sunday afternoon and a thank you message on Monday at noon.
It's too painful. I can't talk about it.
It's not just that Embiid and company always fail to win the big one. It's how they lose that's becoming a disturbing pattern. After getting to the second round in 2018 and 2019, with only a Game 7 buzzer beater separating Philly from the 2019 champion Raptors, the Sixers were swept by Boston in the first round of the 2020 playoffs. That led to the firing of Brett Brown and the hiring of Doc Rivers. A year later, the Sixers lost a second-round Game 7 in Philly to the underdog Hawks, a franchise-altering defeat that led to the end of the Ben Simmons era and eventually culminated in a 2022 trade for James Harden. Later that spring, however, it was old friend Jimmy Butler getting the last laugh, as the Heat eliminated the Sixers in Philly in Game 6 of the second round. An elimination game that saw Embiid shoot 7 of 24 from the field, while Harden took just 9 shots in 43 minutes. In the most recent Game 7 against the Celtics, Embiid went 5 of 18 from the field, while Harden scored 9 points in 41 minutes.
I'm having deja vu.
Days later, Rivers paid for the failure with his job. The Sixers have tried just about everything over the last decade. After tanking to stockpile top draft picks and waiting out Embiid's first few injury-riddled seasons, Philly has made coaching and front office changes, swapped out Embiid's supporting stars, and shuffled through various role players. Embiid has been the one constant, but as sure as Sixers fans can be that he'll look like one of the best players alive during the regular season and parts of the playoffs, they can be equally confident he'll disappear when he and his team have their backs against the wall. Now sure, at times over the years, Embiid's teammates haven't always gotten him the ball in the right spots. Sometimes the Sixers have just run into better teams. Oftentimes, Embiid is battling through a postseason injury. But at a certain point, the buck stops with the MVP. In 9 career games when facing elimination, Embiid has shot 38.8% from the field while committing 41 turnovers against just 18 assists. Unsurprisingly, the Sixers have gone 3-6 in those contests. In hindsight, perhaps it wasn't a great idea to pair him with another future Hall of Famer whose own postseason resume was so spotty, especially in elimination games.
Why did you do that?
You can point the finger at the now fired Rivers, whose teams have lost 11 straight closeout games in the second round or conference finals dating back to 2012. But it should be noted Doc and his staff tried just about everything in Game 7 against the Celtics. Embiid, Harden, and the Sixers organization as a whole had a golden opportunity to rewrite their legacies this spring, with everything seemingly breaking right for them. And they bottled it. So what now? Unless Embiid himself demands a trade at some point, Philly's best chance at a title remains trying to build a winner around its franchise player. Unless a tactician like Embiid nemesis Nick Nurse or another coach on the market can clear the mental hurdles preventing Embiid from performing when it matters most, a new bench boss won't accomplish much. Harden presents what might be a lose-lose proposition for the Sixers. Pay up to make him whole after he sacrificed for the greater good, and the Sixers would be committing long-term money to a fading star heading into his mid-30s. Let him walk though, and the capped-out Sixers wouldn't come close to replacing the Beard's production. Tyrese Maxey surely has the most non-Embiid trade value on the team, but the lightning-quick guard is a budding star worth keeping. Tobias Harris only has 1 year left on his contract and has been the ire of Sixers fans' frustration at times. But he's mostly done his job over the last couple years, and it's not his fault the franchise gave him $180 million. You're unlikely to find an upgrade in a trade, and simply looking to dump his salary is risky while the team's in win-now mode. Meanwhile, PJ Tucker did just outscore James Harden in a Game 7, and no, I can't believe that's a real statement. But how many teams really want to take on the remaining 2 years and $22+ million on the 38-year-old's deal? The Sixers also can't trade a first-round pick outright until 2029. Barring a team overpaying for Harden in a sign-in trade, the Sixers are running out of ideas to build around Embiid. So let me just tell you how next year will likely go from now. With or without Harden and Rivers, Embiid will dominate during the regular season, flopping and flailing his way back into the MVP discussion while the Sixers establish solid playoff position. Along the way, Embiid will tell us that no one can stop him while he takes playful jabs at rival players, coaches, and MVP candidates alike. The Sixers will then head into the postseason full of promise, but Embiid will be hobbled by a horribly timed injury, and at the first sign of on-court adversity, the team will follow the lead of its sulking superstar and fold like a cheap tent. No coaching change or roster reshuffling can change that.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.